Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
If you ask batters world over, would they rather bat in South Africa or someplace else? Chances are a lot of them will say someplace else. That's because of the pace and bounce on offer in South Africa. The bowlers are always in the game, which is why when batting knocks come off in South Africa, they become really special. Today we're looking at the top 5 knocks from Indian batters in the Rainbow Nation. Now, because we had to only pick 5, we missed out on some really crucial ones. So here's an honorable mention to Rahul Dravid's maiden century in 1997. Then Virender Sehwag's century on Test debut, that spectacular knock. And then Sourav Ganguly's knock on comeback in that Johannesburg Test match. That half century was very crucial in scripting India's first ever Test win in South Africa. So these don't make it to our list. Which ones do? Let's have a look. For the first one, you'll have to jog your memories back. Way back in time, 1992, towards the end of Kapil Dev's career, waning powers. This was India's first ever tour to South Africa. The first 2 test matches were a draw, then came the ODIs, and then came the 3rd test match. By the time the 3rd test match came about, there was a lot of chatter going around. Alan Donald said that Indians were running away from pace, and he backed it up, picking 5 wickets in the first innings. South Africa had a first innings lead. In the second innings, Indian batters were down and out again. 27 for 5 was the score when Kapil Dev walked out to bat. And he walked out, dug deep, made sure that he took the attack to the opposition, scoring a majority of India's runs, eventually being dismissed for 129. Remember, he batted with an injured hand. India set 153 for South Africa to chase in 3 hours. It could have been tricky, but ended up in hands of South Africa. South Africa won that game comfortably, but this game is always remembered for that special knock that Kapil Dev pulled off. On India's tour of South Africa in 96 and 97, they were reeling. They'd lost the first test by 328 runs, and in the second test in Cape Town, South Africa were on top again. They'd scored 529 runs in the first innings. When Sachin Tendulkar, India's captain, came out to bat at number 5, there was pressure of expectations, and he delivered. Coming out to bat, he was driving South African bowlers like no one's business. And this bowling attack had Sean Pollock, Alan Donald, Paul Adams and Hansie Cronje. This was a star-studded bowling attack that Tendulkar was toying with. He batted for 329 minutes, scored a spectacular 169. India did go on to lose that game, but in Cape Town, in that test match, Sachin Tendulkar put on a batting exhibition. When they say numbers don't tell the full story of a cricket match, they talk about innings like the one from VVS Laxman in Durban in 2010. India were reeling in this series again. Were coming off an innings defeat in the first test match. In the second test match's second innings, they were 48 for 3 when Laxman walked into bat. There was trouble because he kept losing wickets at the other end. But he was about to give a masterclass of batting with the lower order. Kept the scoreboard ticking, took India's lead to beyond 300. And while he fell short of a well-deserved century by just 4 runs, Laxman had made sure that he took India out of danger with his batting. He batted against some really good bowlers that included Dale Steyn as well, and the ball was moving on that Durban track. And just a testament to how good was that knock from VVS Laxman. How is this for a number? No other Indian batter apart from VVS Laxman and Virender Sehwag in that game could cross 30 runs. He was indeed for a reason called India's crisis man. There is a definitive template to the Cheteshwar Pujara school of batting now. We know that he starts off slowly, builds on it brick by brick, and then goes on to score those daddy centuries. The first signs of that, though, were visible in his knock in Johannesburg in 2013. He was batting at 9 runs off 64 balls, being criticized for his inability to tackle South African pacers and also for batting slowly. But then he built on that knock slowly but steadily, made sure that he kept batting out there, and that reaped him rewards. He scored a crucial 153 runs for India, setting South Africa a massive 458 runs to chase. India's lack of bowling firepower, though, could not knock out South Africa as the game ended in a draw, South Africa falling just 8 runs short of what would have been a memorable win for them. But this test match will always be remembered for Cheteshwar Pujara's knock, his first ever overseas century at the same ground where Rahul Dravid scored his first 16 seasons ago. If ever a knock screams trademark Virat Kohli, it has to be this one at Centurion. Day 3 of the second test match, he was in his elements. He was striking his pads with his bat every time a batter got out of the other end. He was applauding every time a batter at the other end hit a 4. He was running out of partners at the other end, but never running out of steam. He was sledging the opposition. He was in the game at every moment, scoring almost half the runs for Team India in that innings, bringing about a spectacular 150, but also making sure that he took the attack to the opposition. This knock from Virat Kohli in Centurion is truly one of the most trademark Kohli knocks one will ever see. Well, that is how our list of top 5 Indian knocks in South Africa looks like. Does your look different? If it does, don't forget to share it with us. We're on all social media platforms. As for this test series, it starts on the 26th of December. Don't forget to stay tuned to Cricbuzz because we've got a host of content lined up for you throughout the series.